What's up, guys? Matty here at mixandmastermysong.com. So one of the questions I get most often is, what do I need to be able to record vocals at home, to be able to make music at my house? What gear do I need to, really do it on a professional level? So I thought it'd be cool to go over 5 different things that I think are the most important things when trying to record at home, trying to make beats at home, trying to do mixes at home. So that's what we're going to go over in today's video. Let's get started. All right, guys, so the number one thing is the room. It has nothing to do with equipment. It's the actual room you're recording, mixing, or making beats in. Now, there's a couple of things you can kind of keep in mind to figure out which room to record in. Hard surfaces are your enemy, so you don't want to record or mix or whatever in kitchens or bathrooms or living rooms with hardwood floors and a lot of hard surfaces. You want to record and mix in places that are softer, so like bedrooms, things with carpeted floors. Try to get a carpet. If you have hardwood floors in your bedroom, try to get a carpet at least where you're recording at. Try to suck up some of those hard reflections. That will make the room more dead, and you'll have less reflection, so it won't sound like you're recording in some big room, because you can't take that out in the mix. You got to get a good recording in order to get a good mix. Number 2 are your speakers or your headphones. If you can't hear what is coming through correctly, then you're dead in the water. Now, if you're in a bad room, I always suggest like some super high-end headphones, the more expensive ones you can get. I know Sennheiser has HD 650s, which are really good. There's a bunch of other ones that are coming out. Some of these guys I just got are really good, pretty pricey, but they're good. So headphones can be super helpful because in a lot of bad rooms, if you're in a small room or something, you're not ever going to hear the bass right. And a lot of times you might have noticed if you mix something and then take it out and the bass is all out of whack. The bass is the first thing to go in a bad room. So the other thing is, if you want to get speakers, that's totally cool. And there's a lot of great low priced or mid-range priced speakers out. I'm a big fan of the Focals. I actually have a set over there that I use for reference. They were one of the first speakers I got when I first started my studio. Those are awesome speakers. The CMS65 is what I had. And those are great. And the other thing too is if you're mixing, if you're making beats, turning it up loud is always awesome, and it makes you feel the music more. But if you're mixing in a bad room with speakers, it's actually better to turn it down as low as you can and still feel the energy, because the lower it is, the less the room is going to be involved in what the speakers are doing. So always keep that in mind. But yeah, number 2, speakers and headphones. Number 3, the computer, which everyone has. So this is kind of a 2-part, computer or your DAW. There's a bunch of different DAWs out there. I'm a big fan of Studio One, as if you follow me, it's a great program. I think it's the best one if you're getting into recording and making beats and mixing. If you want to do kind of everything, I think Studio One is the best one out there, and it's actually relatively cheap. Reaper's also good. I don't use it that much, but I know Reaper's basically free, and then if you want to use it, it's like $60. And it's a great program. A lot of people rave about it. Not something I've used a lot. I've tried it out. It was a little weird for me, but whatever. Also, the standard is Pro Tools. I use Studio One and Pro Tools. I prefer Studio One, but a lot of sessions I get in are from Pro Tools. Pro Tools is great for recording and mixing, but I still think Studio One overall, if you're new to this, is the better one to go. It can do so much more, and if you're into making music and beats, it's way better than Pro Tools in my opinion. So a good DAW is always necessary, and it doesn't have to be expensive, and there's a bunch of other ones, Ableton. You can download the trials, find the one that best fits your working, the way you work, and get that one that works best for you. All right, number 4, a good microphone. Now, you can always get like the regular Neumanns and all that stuff. However, there's a lot of good modeling mics coming out, like by Slate and Townsend and a few others. And I think that might be the better bet to get, because sometimes, like when I'm recording in a studio, a Neumann U87, which is like a $3,000 microphone, doesn't always sound great on a person. A Neumann U67 might sound better, or a Sony C800 might sound better on different vocalists. And it's kind of hard to do that if you're limited on a budget to be able to switch out mics that are $4,000, $5,000. Now, these modeling microphones, you can basically have like a cabinet of all the different mics, and they sound pretty close. The one I've found that sounds the best, you actually check out my my buddy's site, and you can check my video. I'll put a link, audiotestkitchen.com. You can hear different microphones. The modeling one I found sounded best was the Townsend mic, and it works really well with the UAD platform, which in number 5 will be our preamp. And so I think that's a really great mic if you can afford it. The Slate mic has rave reviews too, so that one's great too. So yeah, check out the modeling mics. I think that's your best bet for a great microphone that's relatively inexpensive. Now, I always got to say, the $200, $300 microphones aren't going to sound that great. So just don't get them. Save up some money and try to get at least a mic, around $1,000. I feel like you can get a really quality recording if you spend that much money on a mic. Lastly, number 5, the preamp. So you got to have something to plug the mic into to give it gain and phantom power and all that. I believe the UAD platform and the Twin, I think the UAD Twin is probably the best bet these days. It's a great pre, has high quality converters. You can use it as a monitor. It has a volume knob, headphones. You can plug speakers into it. So it's an all-in-one preamp, and it works great with all the different DAWs. Not to mention you get the Unison technology, which you can try different preamps, and they've emulated and simulated the classic Neumann 1073s, and then classic compressors like a LA2A. Because usually you want to record from mic to a mic pre to a compressor just to catch the peaks into your recording system. So with the UAD, you can record all that stuff with Unison and use what sounds really close to like a real Neumann 1073 into a real Telefunken, a real LA2A compressor or CL1B, whatever. You have different options you can choose from with pre's and compressors and find the best combo that works with your voice. Not to mention the Townsend mic that I suggested for microphones works really well in the UAD ecosystem. So the UAD Twin is great. They also have higher level ones if you're recording drums and stuff. You need more inputs, but I highly suggest going with the UAD Apollo format. It works really well. So those are my suggestions on the 5 things you need to build a recording studio at home, be able to get quality results. Let me know what you think. What are some of your favorite pieces of gear that you use? If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you need your songs mixed or mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. You can also find my presets and courses there too. See you soon.